Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, I have a serious case of the scraps. Stay tuned. So if you're like me, and I think you are, you have a lot of paper scraps. I craft every day, and every day, scrap after scrap after scrap builds up. So at some point, we have to make a decision. Do we keep them or do we toss them? And if we keep them, when are we going to craft with them? Well, I've been trying to craft my scraps a lot more often lately, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to craft some scraps, and then we're going to make a very quick project just to give you an idea of how you can use what we're about to craft. And here is what we are going to be crafting. When I made those beautiful paper bows, I had a lot of scrap left over. So I decided that I would just take that scrap and create some little gift tags, and that I would make some spiral roses to put on the tags just to have a cute little embellishment. And then of course, I use my stickers to really help everything to pop, because you guys know me and my stickers. I love crafting with stickers. I've been doing it since I've been on YouTube. It's one of my favorite embellishments to go to because you get instant results for pennies. So we are going to be using some of my favorite stickers again today, and we're going to be using scraps. So I am going to bring in some of my scrap pieces from recent paper crafting, and we are going to get to work. So here's just a few of some of my leftover pieces from some bow projects and other projects that I have been working on. So we are going to go ahead and turn these into beautiful spiral roses, and I'm going to make 2 roses with you guys, and then we're going to make our other project. So basically what I'm going to do when I am making the spiral rose, I am going to find, let's see, let me check the back. I want one that has a light background so that I can do them in alternating looks. And this one has a light background. So we're going to start with this one. And this spiral rose process is going to be so simple. A lot of you know how to do this. Some of you who are new to paper crafting may not have done this before. So this is going to be a really cute way of getting this spiral look. And it's a very rustic spiral, but it's so cute on your projects. So all I'm going to do is I am going to take this piece. The size of it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to cut myself, try to cut 2 squares. Again, rustic, won't be exact. So when you have these 2 pieces like this, you can see that I have different sizes. But all I'm going to do is basically take both pieces and stack them and then cut a circle or something that looks like a circle. So I have 2 very rough looking circles, and here's the trick. We are just going to come in right on one of the edges and start cutting in and turning our paper until we get that spiral going. And just keep turning your paper so that you're going in a circular motion. And then when you get to the end, you're going to have this piece that sort of sits up like a very large comma. That's what you want. So I am going to go ahead and do the same thing on this one. So I am just spiraling my cut, and I'm going in. And as you can see, when I get to this point in my cut, I am going to stop and leave this base right here. So now that I have these two cut, what I'm going to do, if you are a paper quiller, what I'm about to do is going to make you scream, because I am just going to use my fingers to really get my turn going. So I'm just curling that paper like that with my fingers. Then I'm going to take it and just pinch it in just like that. And I'll just start pinching and turning. So all I'm doing is rolling my paper, but I'm keeping it as tight as I can when I roll it. So just try to keep that bottom lined up as you're rolling it. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect because it's going to open up anyway. That's what we want. But we are just going to roll, roll, roll. Okay, so once you get towards the bottom, it gets just a little bit tighter, but just keep holding it until you get it to this point. And you'll have that spiral right there, and you're going to have that. What you want to do is take your glue gun or your wet glue, put a glob of glue on your base. Then you're going to take your project and set it down in that glue and let it open as far as you want it to open to get the look on your project that you want. And then you will have a very rustic, very simple little spiral rose. It really is that easy. So we're going to go ahead and do the second one. And as you can see, on the outside of this one, I have the green. On the outside of this one, it's going to be white. And the outside is all determined by which side of the paper you actually start curling. So if you start curling in with the green here, that means that the white will be the predominant color on the outside, and the green is going to be on the inside. So I've got my little curl started. I am just going to pinch that in and pinch it in and just start rolling this. And this is just a fun, relaxing way of using up your scraps. You can actually do this while you're watching Columbo or your other favorite TV shows. I am a big Columbo fan. Know every episode, probably know the dialogue verbatim, but I watch it as if I've never seen it before. And I am just going to roll and roll and roll. And just keep turning it until you start getting to the bottom. And then once you get to the bottom, just kind of hold it on the top so that you can place your glue on the base. Then you can take it, set that base down, position that rose in that glue, and then just let the rose unravel until you have it looking the way that you want it. And then just kind of press down to make sure that all of the parts of your rose are hitting some of that hot glue so that it will stay together. And again, we have another little rustic spiral teacup rose. And you can see just how small they are, but how cute are they? And they're perfect for the project that we're going to be doing. So now what I want to do is I am going to cut out some leaves. And your leaves don't have to be a certain color. I'm actually going to make my leaves out of this color. So it's going to be very elementary how I'm doing this. So I'm taking a piece, a rectangle, and I'm folding it in on both sides, just like this. Like I said, this is really some rustic scrap crafting. And then I am just going to cut like a semicircle on both sides. Remember when we used to cut out the snowmen in school? This is the same process. So when I open it up, I'm going to have these gorgeous leaves. Then I'm going to do the same thing with another piece of my scrap. So I'm going to take this piece, fold it, and fold that piece. And now I'm just going to do exactly what I did before. Cut out a very rustic little leaf. So I've got it folded. I'm going to cut where the fold is in a half circle almost. And now I have my leaves. So what I'm going to do is decide how I want my leaves to look. And I think that I want my leaves on that one like that, and leaves on this one like that. So I am not going to glue those down. I'm just going to set them to the side. And now we're going to make our tags. And for the tags, I have some scrap pieces of poster board that measure 2 by 4. And what I'm going to do is I am simply going to take my tape runner, place down some tape, and I am going to find a piece that actually works with this and just place it down just like that. Then I am going to use my finger blade just to trim out my border. So there I've got one tag. I am going to do the same thing with this one. I am going to take my tape runner, place some glue on this 2 by 4 inch piece, and place it down. And then I'll just use my finger blade just to come back in and trim out my sweet little tag. And as you can see, I have scraps still left over, and that's okay because I'll be able to use these scraps on other projects. So now that I have these done, it is time to decide where I want to place them. So I think I'm going to place one at the top of this one and then one at the bottom. And before I place my roses, I am going to go ahead and just punch my hole using my Crocodile Big Bite. And I have it set on the 3/16 setting. And so now I am just going to go ahead and place my twine through the loop. So I'm going to take my twine, feed it through, and just pull it. And I'm going to trim off just a little, not a whole lot. And I'll do the same thing here. Put it through that loop and pull it. So now, guys, we are ready to make this simple magic happen. So I'm going to take my glue gun, place some glue on my leaf, and just place it wherever I want it. So I'm going to place some right there. And now I'll take my sweet little flower, place some glue on the bottom, and place that right there. And then we'll bring this one in. And on this one, I am going to place everything towards the bottom. So I'll take my glue, place it on my leaf, and get those stuck down. Now I can take my glue, place it on the bottom of my sweet little flower, and place that right there. And truly, truly simple, but oh so sweet. So I am going to bring in my stickers, and I am going to just place a little sticker right across the top of this one. And this one says Deck the Halls. And I need to trim off just a little bit because it was too long. And we don't have to put stickers on our projects, but I just think that whenever I add a sticker, it just elevates the cuteness of my project. So I'm going to take the one that says Candy Cane and place it right here at the bottom. So now we have a wonderful place to write our to and from sentiment. And look at how sweet these are. They are so simple, but they are so stinking cute and such a good way of using up some scraps and having something very charming and very cute to boot. So now we're going to make just a very simple box that we can actually use these tags on. And I'm going to show you the box, guys, because I think it's absolutely stinking cute. This little box is open on the side, and we close it by tying our tag at the top. And I'm also going to seal mine on the side so that we have a nice tight closure on here. But this box is perfect for chocolate chip cookies, a bunch of peppermints, hard candies, toiletries, socks, whatever you want to put in it. This is a stinking cute little box. And we are going to cut our opening without a die cutter. Now, if you have a die cutter, use it. And if you don't have one, this is going to be a very quick and easy way to cut out a window in your box. All right, guys, so the way that we're going to make our box, we are going to take a piece that measures 11 by 12, and I'm using my Dollar Tree poster board, but I have cut it down to 12 inches, so you won't need to add anything to this if you don't have the Dollar Tree poster board. If you have the Dollar Tree poster board, cut it down to 11 by 12. And our first score on the 12-inch side is going to be at 2. Then we're going to score at 5.5. Then we're going to score at 7.5. And then we're going to score at 11. Then we're going to rotate it to the 11-inch side, and we're going to score at 2, at 7.25, and at 8.5. And so now we are going to fold and burnish all of our scores. Okay, guys, so once you have all of your scores folded and burnished, this narrow flap here is going to be our glue flap. So we're going to need to get rid of the corner piece right down here at the bottom. So I can angle in here, and then I'll cut straight through. I'll cut straight through that score mark. Then I'll rotate it, and I'm going to go to the second score mark and cut straight down, and then I'm going to remove this piece. So now you have your glue flap. Then this section here is the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do slight angle cuts on both sides of the score mark. So there is the score mark. I did an angle this way. Now I'll do an angle this way. So your project at this point should look like this. Now we're going to rotate it and we're going to go up to the second score mark and just drag straight down wherever we have a score mark. So go up to that second score mark, drag straight down. And now you have this. We are not going to remove these two pieces. We're actually going to fold those in, and I am just going to use my tape runner to get these stuck. And this is just going to give us a nice finish here. So I am going to take my tape runner and take that piece and put it down. And just make sure that I get it nice and stuck. So now we have this, and we want to cut an opening right in here. So what I have is a scrap piece of just the white poster board, and all I'm going to do is take my tape and place it down, and this piece measures 1.5 by 2.5, and all I'm doing, guys, is I am taking this piece and placing it down wherever it is I want to cut out my window. So I am going to just trim around this, and this is how I am going to get a window. And then when we remove this piece, we have a window, and I am going to come over to this side and do the same thing. But I need to add some more tape so that I can keep this in place. I am going to turn this around and do some eyeballing. It might not be perfect, but it will be good enough. So now I'm going to do that same process. I'm simply going to cut around this piece until I have it removed. And like I said, if you have a die cutter, you can run it through your die cutter. For those of you who don't, this is a very quick way of cutting out a window. And if you wanted to, you could actually come down here to the bottom and you could cut windows if you wanted to, and then place some acetate on the inside. I am not going to be doing that, but if you wanted to, you could. So now this is how this is going to work. That will close like that and serve as a handle. So now I have this snowman piece, and I am just going to cut it down to fit. So I am going to cut this at 3 1/4 by 4 7/8. And I'm going to take these two pieces and place them right there. So to place these, I am going to use my tape runner, add my tape, take this piece, place it down, just like that, cute. And then take my second piece. And I am not adding any of the paper to the side panels because I want those to remain white for me. But if you want to add them, just cut your pieces at 1 3/4 by 4 7/8. Okay, so now that I have these pieces like this, I am going to take one of my little border strips and I'm going to trim some away, and I'm only going to put this border at the front of my box for this video. But if you want to add it someplace else, you most certainly can. So I'm going to take this piece and I am going to place it right here. And then I'll trim off. And then my sweet little box is going to look like this. And now I'm going to take my glue and just put my box together. So I am going to take my Reptile Glue, place Reptile Glue on my flap. Then I'll take my box and I'm just going to fold it over until it meets, and I'm just going to roll it in that glue just a little bit so that everything has glue nice and stuck. And y'all can see that we have a sweet little flat fold. So our flat fold box collection is really starting to grow. So now all we need to do is take our sides, fold them in. I am going to add just a little bit of glue, and then I'll take some glue and place it on that back panel. Then I'll fold all 3 panels in, and then I'll take my glue, place it on my front panel, get that stuck, and I am going to use my ruler to go on the inside just to make sure everything is nice and stuck. And I think that that is just so stinking cute. So then on this one, I am just going to take my sweet little chipboard sticker that says Joy. I'm going to add some glue to the back because these stickers are old and they might not have optimal stick. So I'm adding some glue. Like I said, when it closes, it's going to close just like this. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to go ahead and close this box so that y'all will see how I would close it once it was filled. So I am simply going to take one of my dimensional glue dots and cut it in half. And I placed half there. And then I'm going to take the other half, and I'm going to place that right there. And then I'm just going to take it, get it matched at the top first, just to make sure that everything is nice and even. Then once I have it matched at the top, I will just squeeze in at the glue dot so that everything is nice and even, and you can see how it looks. And now you have a handle so that you can carry this to present it to whomever you're giving it to. And so now we can bring in our tags and just decide which one we want to put on our box. And I think I'm going to go with the one that says Deck the Halls. So I am just going to take it, tie it at the top. I'm not even going to tie a bow. I'm just going to let this one just sort of hang with my twine. Very rustic. And I think that that is such a cute and simple way to be able to give a gift. Now I know from past videos that I am going to get comments about why would you seal an empty box. Guys, when I'm doing these videos, they really are for demonstration purposes and to give you some ideas on how you can make these projects. And the materials that I'm using in these videos, it's okay if on occasion I seal an empty box and I have to toss it, because it served its purpose of giving you guys some awesome ideas on how to make the style box, as well as how to use these awesome scrap gift tags that we made. So I hope that you have liked this project. I hope that it has given you some ideas on how to use your scraps and also given you a brand new box style to make. And if you have liked this video, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys, be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.